Today, you and I are going to talk about CC Lib's Possessive Series Book 2. Let's go! Disclaimers! This is BookTube. BookTube is a subculture community dito sa YouTube kung saan ang mambabasa ay nagre-react tungkol dun sa mga stories na kanilang binasa para sa susunod na mambabasa. Kung ikaw ang author or member ka dun sa community nitong writer na to, please note that this video is not meant to hate, berate, humiliate, or cause tea or drama sa'yo, sa inyo, at sa community nyo. I'm not here for that. We're not here for that. We are just here for the stories. As you can see, you can read this in book form or you can read this in digital form via Wattpad. Though, I don't know kung may difference ba yung itong nakapublish or yung nandun sa Wattpad. Kasi some parts of the Possessive Series is currently under paid stories. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nyo muna magbayad bago nyo mabasa yung ibang titles. Pero itong book 2, pwede nyo siyang basahin for free on Wattpad kasi hindi siya part ng paid stories. This book is published in 2019 under the Red Room imprint ng Life is Beautiful. Tapos, ang author niya ay si CC Lib or CC. So, this is book 2. And nabili ko siya ng 189 pesos lang. As you can see, this book is a paperback. So, yan, natutupi-tupi natin siya. And it's quite handy. It's actually a pocket book. Tapos yung paper niya is like this. So, this is what I would consider as a newspaper paper. Tapos yung language naman dito sa buong story na to is Taglish. And it only has 288 pages only. Now, the writer has noted sa Wattpad na this story is not for the younger readers or yung ages under 18 below. So, meron siyang ganung warning sa Wattpad. This book also contains a warning. So, meron siyang warning dito. Meron din siyang warning dyan. So, yan. This means hindi nagkulang sa pag-warning ang publisher at ang author na, hey, this book might not be for you. And if you continue to read this book, hindi namin responsibilidad na pinick up nyo at binasa nyo yung story kasi winarningan na namin kayo. So, kung mabilis kang ma-trigger or you do not want this kind of content, I would highly suggest na you stop this video altogether. Do not buy this book kung, underage ka. So, yeah, I'll give you that time. Kasi nga, this book will tackle, mature content. So, baka lang hindi mo maintindihan or baka ma-trigger ka. And we don't want that. Although, nilagyan ko naman to na age restriction eh. So, kung pinapanood mo pa rin to, it means na you gave consent. Okay? Again, I will not be responsible kung matitrigger ka dito sa video na to kasi hindi din ako nagkulang. Naglagay ako ng age restriction and ng warning sa simula pa lang ng video na to. And once again, I am saying this, if you are underage, please opt out of this video kasi we will be tackling and discussing mga mature content. Okay, now na nawala na ang mga kiddos, let's now proceed with the mature content. So, ang genre kasi nitong story na to is erotic literature. Erotic literature means na yung story or yung literature has depictions of sexual activities. And sex is an essential part of the story as the story progresses. So for this book, I would put this in the mommy porn category. Meron din siyang satire. Satire siya kasi obviously nasa atin ng mga readers kung paano natin iintindihin yung binabasa natin. But for me, satire siya kasi reading this story, I can tell that the writer is not taking this seriously. How the writer wrote yung dialogues at saka yung monologues ng mga characters, they are all in the good name of fun and creative escapism. I mean, hindi ko na itatackle kung anong ibig sabihin ng escapism, maybe in some other video. Pero yeah, for this one, definitely it's satire. And of course, fiction. Kasi none of the events and characters or any scenario dito sa story na to ever happened sa writer mismo. So, we really shouldn't take things Literally, okay? Yung narration naman ng story is a third-person POV, which means na merong external character na nagnanarrate sa atin or nagsasabi kung ano yung nangyayari dito sa story na to. Okay, so I will read to you yung summary of the story. I fell hard, fast, and I was so scared that you will not be there to catch me. 8 years ago, Melanie was the most stunning and ravishing woman Ewan's eyes ever laid on. He instantly felt strong desire to own her, and to his surprise, sa loob ng isang gabi, nagawa ng babae na gisingin ang mga emosyong hindi niya alam na mayroon pala siya sa pamamagitan ng mainit nitong halik. 8 years later, they met again. The feeling was still there. Ewans wanted Melanie so much. Ngayon lang siya nagkagusto ng ganun sa isang babae. But apparently, Melanie didn't care if she made him feel strange emotions. Kaya naging desidido si Ewans na gawin ang lahat, maging sa kanya lang ang babae. Dun, dun, dun! Okay, so this book has 22 chapters, 1 prologue, 1 epilogue, tapos wala siyang special chapters. Okay, so pag-usapan na natin ang characters. So si Ewans kasi, parte siya ng 1% of, the rich and all that dito sa universe ng Possessive Series. So he is hot-headed, impatient, no regards for commitments whatsoever, and most of all, wala siyang sense of boundaries. A classic red flag, if I may. But for the sake of satire and ang genre nitong story na to, in short, he is a hottie with a big dick energy. He fell head over heels para sa main character natin na si Mel or si Melanie. Nagkita kasi sila sa airport noon. Doon sila una nagkakilala. And my God, prologue pa lang guys. Prologue pa lang, meron na siyang ginawang criminal. Pero that's the kind of thing na expected na natin for this kind of erotic literature. Eto he's too vanilla for my taste. Honestly, I've read worse characters and love interests. Since ito yung first taste ko in local erotic literature, I was expecting he'd be more aggressive. Like full-on alpha male mode. But no, he's not. Honestly, there are worse characters than this guy. Sure, he's done criminal things, but he's not far into that taboo category sa erotic literature. Kasi sure, what he did in the prologue is strictly criminal, as well as sa further on sa story. Pero, hindi talaga siya too taboo, unlike nung ibang mga erotic literature na nabasa ko na. International. So, trust me, there are worse characters than this guy. But he's got a big dick and he's got credit and, he's got abs na pwede natin gawin pang kayod, pang laba. So, he's still around that category of the classic erotic literature male character. So, yan. I'm sure some of you girlies will appreciate if you're into that sort of thing. Think 360 Days yung nasa Netflix, but very tamed and lesser version nung guy na nandun. Lesser version of possession and obsession. I mean, he's a complete idiot with no skill whatsoever other than him being born as a rich guy into a 1% family and eventually trying to build up their family's company, so on and so forth. So he's a nepo baby. So I don't know how you feel about that. Okay, let's give this guy some credit din naman, okay? Yung love language ni Ewans is acts of service. I mean, he likes to serve his big dick for Melanie to devour. And ayun, learning how to cook for Melanie, learning how to sing for Melanie, kahit na out of tono siya, basta mga ganon. Of course, there's the occasional psychopath monologue. I mean, he really tries to be understanding and caring para sa main character natin. So, he tries to be kind and generous and understanding para kay Melanie. I mean, yung mindset pa rin niya, it's still pretty questionable, pero yeah, meron naman siyang ganong klase ng can I say redeeming qualities? I don't know. Pero yeah, for the sake of this fucking genre, yes, meron siyang redeeming qualities. Until the end, he would die and commit murder willingly to protect and mapasa kanya lang yung beloved niya na si Melanie. So, if you're into that sort of thing, well, girly, this book might be for you. So, true to title naman talaga itong story na to. I mean, she did say Possessive Series and you can't get any more possessive than that. Okay, Now let's talk about Melanie Schroeder. So Melanie, or si Mel, she's also part of the 1% dito sa Possessive Series. When I say 1%, yung mga rich, okay? Yung mga super mega ultra wealthy. And we love a female character who has the same energy, who's in par with our male protagonist. I was gonna say villain. She's been living under her father's, iron fist, so she's kind of sheltered. When she found out na i-arrange marriage sila nitong si Ewens, she hated the idea so much na she's willing to throw away her life and just start from square one. But, ayun nga, something happened in the prologue. Nagpingpongan sila. And she's like, you know what? I hate you, but I kinda like that dick. Pero I also love myself, so I'm gonna go. Sinabi talaga niya na, I am a headstrong, independent woman and I'm not gonna let you control me. We do not care if the dick is good. We care for our freedom. Ewan ko kung ano sinasabi ko. And ayun nga, meron din siyang hyper-independence. So she ran away. She lived in hiding sa Russia for 8 years. Mind you, she's 21 dun sa prologue. So it's been 8 years. Nagkaroon ng time skip dito sa story na to. And during that time, she lived as a florist and she lived with a different name. She used her mother's name pa nga ata yun I forgot. Pero yun. I mean, I appreciate the occasional runaway trope sa mga stories. But again, it's fictional satire. So, yung transition niya from heiress to florist is so unimaginable and unrelated. I mean, I love it. Parang yes, I also have that female urge to run away to Russia and start my life from square one and live as a florist. Yes, I will be able to feed myself. She's also kind of submissive when it comes to Ewens kasi she doesn't understand her own feelings and hindi niya ma-communicate yun ng maayos kay Ewens. Kaya madalas siyang nagiging selosa and childish sa pag-iisip niya whenever Ewens is with like another female character. Immediately, ang response niya is parang, that bitch, I hate her. Parang, girl, make up your goddamn mind. Kasi doon sa first part nitong chapter na to, or nitong dialogue or scene na to, sabi mo, ayaw mo kay Ewens. So, mamaya-maya, he's talking to another female character and you're like, that bitch! You can say that she's also very insecure with herself despite the descriptions na sobrang ganda niya, she's like a model, she's so beautiful, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Pero, yun nga, insecure pa rin siya kasi nga, every time talaga na merong female character na i-introduce dito sa story na to, immediately, her response is like, I hate that girl, she's a slut, I don't like her, and eto lang, we don't like slut shaming just because someone else is beautiful than you. We don't do that in this channel. I mean, stop projecting your insecurities on other people just because someone else is successful or beautiful than you. That is so low even for her. In a way, this writer balanced yung pagkakaroon ng red flag and possessive. I mean, nasa title na, possessive, di ba? For both the male and female main characters dito sa story na to. Talagang sinabi niya na, hey, you want possessive? I will give you possessive. I will give you balance. Here, meet my characters. I will serve them in a silver platter. Themes of the story. So, meron tayong arranged marriage trope. And some people love that arranged marriage trope. I've had my fill of arranged marriage trope from Wattpad and yung mga international na mga romance titles sa mga manga, manhwa, webtoons, comics, mga ganyan. Meron ng mga arranged marriage dyan. So, I'm already familiar with that kind of trope. It's been done already. It's a typical scenario for the wealthy family to arrange their kids. Kumbaga parang wala nang problema. Like, your family is rich, my family is rich. You have a son, I have a daughter, let's do this shit. Ganon. So, it's a contemporary take. Of course, nasa title na Possessive Series, possessiveness, and, other red flags that comes with it. Erotica. We will talk about that later. And escapism. Time skip. Meron siyang time skip of 8 years, as I've mentioned earlier. Rape and sexual assault, or SA. Mel was SA'd sa prologue pa lang, she was 21 years old when it happened. It was Ewens who committed that crime. Yes, SA is a crime. Nangyari yon to what seemed to be their engagement party. Basta yung time na nagkita sila with their families. But yeah, he took her away and yun nga, nagpingpongan sila somewhere. Saka siya nilayasan ni Melanie. And she's like, bye Felicia, your dick ate all that for my freedom. Syempre, meron din siyang misogynistic language. This is in particular dun sa mga kaibigan ni Ewens. Sometimes si Ewens din, meron din siyang mga ganong klase ng dialogue. I mean, it happens throughout the book. So if you're iffy about that, you might want to rethink the story. Ito, Stockholm Syndrome. Look, I will not dare spoil too much of this story, but nothing says erotica romance than a billionaire whisking away his runaway bride to a boring island so he can get to know her. Tapos ito, it has something new. It's something unexpected din na nakita ko dito sa story na to. It has Lima Syndrome. Now, if you're not familiar with Lima Syndrome, ito yung reverse ng Stockholm Syndrome. So, di ba sa Stockholm Syndrome, yun yung kung saan, in general kung saan yung captive or yung victim, she falls or she has a sense of sympathy para sa mga captors niya. In Lima Syndrome, yung captors naman nitong victim na to, in this case, in this story, si Melanie, si Ewens, nagkaroon siya ng... Teka, let me read it for you, ha? In Ewens, in chapter 15, he finally said something that I genuinely liked. Sabi niya, page 200, she is the kind of woman who loves freedom. Kaya nga siya umalis sa poder ng mga magulang niya kasi gusto niya maging malaya. Tapos, ikukulong ko na naman siya. So he finally understands the consequences of his actions. And he felt sorry for Melanie. Through getting to know Mel dun sa time nila sa island, he's finally developed a sense of sympathy for Mel and her needs as an individual. Her needs that does not involve sex but just plain fun freedom. He gains accountability. He gains accountability through his actions and admits yung faults niya dun sa friend niya. Na dati, according to some of the dialogues dito sa story na to, hindi niya ginagawa. Okay, so it's time for the rating. Yung rating natin for this book is going to be different. So the rating will be based on the following. We have the plot, characters, narration, dialogue, depiction of sex scenes, level of smut, and is it really erotica? So let's divide that into 3. So una is vanilla seductive. So for vanilla seductive, dito natin ipapasok yung mga level entry good kind of smut. You know, parang normal kind of sex scenes, mga ganyan. So, vanilla seductive. Kapag naman kinky AF, yung kinky AF naman, nandito naman natin ipapasok yung meron ng mga sex toys, meron ng mga nag-explore ng sex scenes or mga sex related activities, yung mga characters and yung story. Let's say, nasa level siya ng 50 Shades, parang ganon. The last level, which is graphic taboo. Graphic taboo, dito natin ipapasok yung mga hardcore na mga stories like super mega ultra BDSM, taboo related sex topics, mga ganyan. So, dyan yan sa graphic taboo. So for Possessive Series Book 2 Ewens Vergara by CC, I would rate this as a vanilla seductive. So this is my first ever taste of local erotic literature, and honestly, it's seductively basic. I was expecting something in the lines of 50 Shades, pero this is not bad. I mean, in the level of erotic literature, this is not bad. This is like, yun nga, as I've said earlier, yung level entry ng smut. It has smut, it has a plot. So yeah, it's not bad. The plot has already been done before. Billionaire hot guy finds another hot girl, and itong girl na to, ayaw niya dun sa guy. She's not obsessed with him nung una. He starts obsessing about her kasi she's not really that into him nung una. And she turns him from, you know, billionaire playboy hot guy to a loyal married billionaire playboy. So parang ganon. It's nothing new. It's already been done before multiple times. Pero the characters lived up to the title. possessive. So, hindi nag-deviate itong writer na to dun sa main plot or focus ng story niya, which is good. Kasi most of the time, since erotic literature, yung ibang mga writers, they are very much more focused dun sa sex rather than the plot. Dito, this is a nice mix between that. So, may balance. There's a plot, there's a story going on, and at the same time, pinapasok ng writer Sorry, I'm being childish. Pinapasok ng writer yung sex scenes dun sa story niya. So, yun. I mean, she literally said, I'm gonna make my characters obsessed with each other. And they're in love and possessive. You know, Shopee and Lazada drivers can finally rest kasi this character's fucking signed, sealed, and delivered. The narration is descriptive and it gives as good as it gets. So there is enough hook for the readers or for me to flip the pages. Although I kind of wish na this character stayed and explored Russia. You know, they fuck around in Russia. Para sana naigala na din tayo nitong writer na to sa Russia. Plus, if you actually think about it, that would have been a good concept. Kasi imagine Russia is cold. They have overflowing drinks all around them. That would have been a fun concept rather than bringing us to a fucking boring island, you know, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 style. Sure, sex on the beach never gets old. Pero girl, you are in Russia. Mother Russia! It's fucking cold. There are drinks everywhere. Overflowing drinks. Just imagine the debauchery na pwedeng gawin sa story ng mga characters. So yeah, I feel like it was a sort of missed opportunity. The dialogues, especially during the sex scenes, are very limited. They are very limited dirty talks, which I'm kind of disappointed. Kasi if you're trying to sell erotic literature, yun nga, I was expecting more dirty talk and, you know, use of adult toys, mga ganyan. Instead of yung mga oh and like, put it there, put it here. Basta mga ganon. It's just, what I'm saying is, it's just too vanilla. And I expected a parang more vocal, emotional pleasure release from the characters. Since ang depiction naman kay Ewens is, you know, he's got a big dick energy and a totally big dick. And, you know, he's all that. He's good in bed and all that. Although, yun nga, criminal din siya kasi nga sa prologue pa lang, he raped itong si Melanie. So, yun, may trigger warning na siya sa simula pa lang. Positions are also vaguely described, and whatever the characters are doing during those kinds of scenes, parang ini-enumerate na lang minsan for the reader to imagine. Kaya madalas nagiging repetitive and boring yung narration. Okay, the level of smut is, like I've said earlier, it's mommy porn, which is not bad. It's nothing in the lines of 50 Shades. I'm using 50 Shades as a comparison kasi para mas madali for you to understand. But if you have read 50 Shades and other erotica, you know what I'm trying to say here. And if you have read other Asian and international erotic literature such as webtoons, manga, manhwa, comics, yes, may mga ganyan, erotic fiction, yung mga ganyan. You and I know that this book has got nothing against those kinds of erotic literature. Kasi merong, sabi ko nga, there are worse characters than Ewens. So, it's a good starter for those who are, you know, parang nagsisimula pa lang sa pagbabasa ng smut and baguhan pa lang sa erotic literature. Lalo na para dun sa mga contemporary erotica. I suppose, iba lang rin talaga yung naging expectations ko for our local erotica. But it's okay. It's not that bad. Eto, the reason why I purposely read this and purchased this is because I wanted to explore and compare. Kasi I wanted to see how our Filipino erotic literature writers are doing. Or kung paano ba sila magsulat and mag-depict ng sex scenes sa literature nila or sa mga sinusulat nila. I wanted to compare them against dun sa mga alam ko na erotic international literature. And I would say na for this book in particular, we are still conservative pa when it comes to writing yung erotic or erotica. Pero ayun, I kind of enjoyed Ewens' dick. I mean, yung story niya. I enjoyed the story nonetheless. So, is this erotica? Yes, it is erotica. Will I read the other books in this series? Of course, meron na akong dalawa. Ay, di pala nakikita. Meron na akong dalawang libro from this series na binili. Let's see kung itutuloy-tuloy ko itong Possessive Series. Kasi I still, of course, want to explore other writers din. Kung meron kayong alam na ibang mga erotica local writers, can you please comment down below para at least ma-check out ko yung mga libro nila or yung mga stories nila. Doesn't matter if it's on Wattpad or if it's published. I just want to check them out. So, please help me out. So, ayun. Salamat sa pagsama sa akin sa pag-explore sa mundo ni Ewan Vergara. Thank you so much for everyone's patience. I know ang tagal niyong hinintay na mag-upload ako. It's just that I don't want anyone to be triggered so much kaya ako nilagyan ng age restriction itong video na to. So, thank you once again and I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys sa susunod na video. See ya!